What is up, everybody? Ray and Brennan here with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football, bringing you the Thursday night preview, news and notes, starts of the week, starts and sits of the week, of the beginning part of the week, right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what at least the show says. That's what the title says.
That's what I wrote in there.
Brennan.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about tomorrow night. Or I guess now that you guys are seeing this tonight, let's talk about it.
Well, let's talk about the news though, because there is some important news here. There is some big news. Like it is. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. So Brock Purdy has a concussion, so he's more than likely out for the Bengals. Mm-hmm. And my question to you is so I saw the play where he is concussed. It was like a Jordan Hicks when he did the QB sneak and got hit in the head. But I feel like they're testing him to see if he has an okay brain and not smooth brain syndrome from throwing those two bad picks.
I don't know if that's what it is. I do believe that he's actually hurt. We talked about it a couple episodes ago, last episode. I don't think that he's close to getting benched. I don't believe that. I don't
think
that.
So either.
He's been too good, too consistent for too long. So what I think is that he's actually hurt. We're going to see what Sam Bradford is. Now, the interesting thing, Sam Bradford comes in, or it's not Sam Bradford, it's Sam Darnold.
Bradford. I was like, wait, did you say Sam
Wait a minute, Bradford? Sam Bradford, Sam Darnold, same guy, same dude. They've never seen him in the same room together. Sam Darnold, we're going to see what he has. The question is, what if he comes out and lights that shit on fire? What if he does?
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting if he came out he just threw for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and was just immaculate. I mean, I still think it's Brock Purdy's team at the end of the day because he just every game he's played and he's won more than he's lost. So you got to go with what you've known. But it'd be very interesting if Sam Darnold did come out because they did say in training camp that he was lighting the world on fire. So it's kind of tough.
It's you get to really see. This is a good example of, is training camp hype real? And we all know it's not. But this time it could be. Who knows?
Who knows? I agree. The next bit of news is that Tyreek Hill missed practice today, but it sounded more serious as Tua gave a lengthy speech as to what would be like playing this next game without him. So that is kind of, it's Wednesday for veterans for most people, but it sounded like he might miss this game. So what are you going to do if Tyreek does miss this game for that aspect of it?
There is zero chance I'm starting Tua. Zero chance.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Next bit of news, Kyler logs another full practice. This is 4 practices in a row. He's trending towards potentially suiting up this Sunday. So that change your opinion about Kyler at all or no?
Look, if he's going to play and you need a quarterback, I think that it would have been wise to already picked him up. Waivers already ran, and I'm sure that he was one of the hottest people to be picked up, I would imagine. I thought that he would have started maybe 2 weeks from now. I still think it's pretty early because he was injured in week 13 of last season. So it's still pretty early for him to come back. And I can't imagine if the idea is that we're going to continue to roll out Kyler Murray in the future, why roll him out this week? You're not playing for anything. Arizona isn't a playoff contender. What's the point of that? But if he's going to play this week, man, Hollywood Brown goes through the moon.
Okay, fair enough.
But I don't know if I'd play him. I don't know if I'd put him in my starting lineup this week unless you were desperate.
Okay, I'll give you a quarterback, but we'll talk about those later on for the games here. Next bit of news, it's kind of a rumor news. So the Titans traded away their All-Pro safety Bynard this week, and it's trending towards that Derrick Henry is going to be out the doors. The Ravens have contacted them in regards, but nothing is considered serious at this moment. So how much does this news, if Derrick Henry goes to the Ravens, how much does that affect his fantasy output for the season?
Look, I think that you're looking straight at, and I know that another show had mentioned this before, but it's the same thing as when Christian McCaffrey went to San Francisco. It's he'll go in there and immediately supplant every running back that's there. No one gives a shit about Gus Edwards or Justice Hill or anybody else for that matter. Derrick Henry is the guy. He's still got a couple years left of real production. Let me tell you, that offense would be scary.
Yeah, I think it'd be more fun than it's scary. Yes, facing it, but it'll be fun to watch him and Lamar in a pass read option. That'd be very interesting because it's pretty tough to stop that. I feel like.
Yeah, because I'm imagining right now, and this is something I have to look at the real film and see what the personnel is against Lamar week in, week out, down in, down out. But I would imagine that when Lamar is on the field with, let's say, Justice Hill or Gus Edwards, not worried about some 265-pound back bulldozing over linebackers. They're going to put another speedy guy out there, a nickel package. Now, can you do that against Derrick Henry? I don't know. What does Derrick Henry
Probably
have
not.
left in the tank? I just that's really what it boils down to. I would like to see it, and I think the Ravens should do it.
All right, fair enough. And if they do make that move, let me ask you, just outside of the fantasy spectrum, where does that put them in like the top 10 of NFL teams? Where does that move them for you?
It's tough because you don't know what you've seen a little bit of flashes of what Derrick Henry has left, but there's a reason Tajay Spears is getting on the field as much as he is. So I think it moves the needle for him for sure. They need a running back. They need one. Like Justice Hill isn't it? Gus Edwards isn't it? J.K. Dobbins' career is pretty much done. Like I don't think
he's rehabbing with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to come back.
He better be smoking all of the ayahuasca. I don't know. I think it moves the needle for them, and I think that they have a chance to now become one of the better offenses in the league.
Yes, I agree with that statement. So, other bit of news that Deshaun Watson will miss another 4 to 6 weeks with a shoulder injury. So PJ Walker is starting. Deshaun Watson has basically what's similar towards a baseball injury, so it's like a throwing shoulder motion. So he's going to be out. So it doesn't matter. I think you can drop him pretty safely now.
I don't think anybody that's listening to the show right now or playing fantasy football in general is sitting there with their roster sitting there like, man, I really need Deshaun Watson to come back to save my season. I don't think that's happening. And I don't think that him coming back it doesn't move the needle for you at all. Put him on the waivers. Let somebody else carry him. Don't put that on your roster.
I agree. And I'll bang out these last two. So Ryan Tannehill is obviously going to miss this week. So it sounds like Will Levis is going to start for the Sunday for the Falcons, or against the Falcons. My apologies.
Yep. And we'll talk about something against them.
Some start of the weeks here.
We'll talk about a start of the week. Let me tell you.
And then last bit of notes, Zach Ertz, unfortunately, is going to the IR. So Trey McBride will become a riser for that team. They've already been starting to work him in lately. So it showed that Zach Ertz was hurt beforehand. So if you haven't already, Trey McBride is someone I would definitely pick up because he's going to be a viable option.
Yeah. And especially if Kyler comes back. I mean, he made Zach Ertz really viable. So you got to think. And Trey McBride at the end of the season was pretty viable. So could be a good pickup. I think he could be in contention with Dalton Kincaid as being some of the pickups that you needed to have picked up this last week.
I agree. I definitely agree. All right, we're going to move on to the Thursday night game, folks. So we have the Tampa Bay Bucks going into Buffalo. It's a 8.5 point favorite for the Bills. Over under opened at 42. Now it's at 43.5. So it's been bid up a little bit. Ray, you want to talk about the Bucks side here?
No.
Okay.
I'm not starting Baker this week. No, thank you.
Okay.
Even though I think this could be I think I could see it going on the over. But
okay.
Do you feel like this is going to be like a get right game for Buffalo? Do you feel like that right now?
I think so. They usually have these games like when they played like Miami earlier in the year, and everyone like they fell off against the Jets. Everyone's like, oh, then they handily beat the Miami Dolphins. I think this is another game where I think they beat them by 10.
Okay. I'm rolling out Mike Evans. Not afraid to start Chris Godwin. I guess you have to start Rachaad White. I mean, I hate to say it. I hate it. I hate it out loud.
Okay. Let me tell you. So, folks, there is no bye for week 8. It's a weird week. There's no teams on bye. Would you start Dale Henderson or Rachaad White this week?
Darrell Henderson.
Okay. Fair enough. I agree with all those takes. I don't think there's anybody else really worth mentioning. So for the Buffalo side, it's Josh Allen like usual. It's James Cook, my apologies, Stephon Diggs, and I believe Dalton Kincaid is a really good start this week with Dawson Knox having the wrist surgery and him being out for an expired amount of time. They don't know, but he'll be out for a good amount of time. Let me ask you, Ray, is this a get right game for Gabe Davis?
No.
All
Maybe
right.
It is. Okay. I don't want to find out.
Over under on a touchdown this week for him.
Under.
All right.
I'm actually going to have that in a parlay. Under.
All right. Fair enough.
Well, I know he's going to burn. I know he's going to get
burn
it.
You.
He's going to get it.
Oh man. All right. Who do you have winning this game, Ray?
I have Buffalo winning, but I feel like this is going to be a lot closer of a game than you think it is.
Okay. I think the Bills blow them off. I think this is where Bucs fans start to get upset with Baker.
Bucks defense is pretty good, and all Baker's got to do is just control the ball. That's it. Just control the ball.
Yeah, he could control the ball last week against Atlanta. That didn't happen either. So,
yeah. Anyways,
on to the next game. We have the Houston Texans going into Carolina. Carolina is a 3-point underdog with the over-under opened at 41.5, and it's actually been bid up quite a bit to 43.5, Ray. So I'll let you start with the Texan side. I'll give you the fun side here.
CJ Stroud going in. Tank Dell, is he going to play this week? I've seen him. He's practicing.
Yeah, he should be. I think he had a concussion, so it's been. And his bye week was last week. He should play this week.
I think that he's actually now practicing, but he's not out of protocol yet. But that's normal.
It's how it works. Yeah, they usually have to get 2 practices in, and then they're cleared. So
yeah. Nico Collins rolling out there, not afraid. This is where it gets kind of scary about Dalton Schultz. Was this all a mirage because Tank Dell was
being out? Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't want to start Dameon Pierce. I really don't. If you have to twist my arm and say I have to, sure, but I don't want to because I want to see if that split is there between him and Devin Singletary. If you have a pivot, I would pivot.
Okay. Deonta Foreman or Dameon Pierce?
Deonta Foreman.
Okay. Just want to see where you're at with that. I will talk about Carolina side. It's Adam Thielen. He's a smash start every single time. He is wide receiver 11 on the year in PPR and scoring formats, so you got to steal with him. My only other thing is that Miles Sanders did practice in full this week. He's cleared. He's healthy. Apparently, he needed this time off. I still think Chuba Hubbard is going to be the better option in PPR formats. He's receiving back. I would stay away cautiously with both of them. I just kind of want to see what it looks like with this new week. And unless you don't have a choice, if you don't have one, I actually don't mind Miles Sanders this week. Texans have it's all scattered for that defense, so I wouldn't mind it, but just tread carefully with that.
I'd agree. And you know what? Just a side note, I apologize for having to mute my mic. I have new neighbors that apparently they're street racers. In Nissan Altima. Who knows, right? Who knows? What's the next game, Brennan? Oh, who do we have winning this game?
I think Carolina gets their first win.
Houston's going to win this game by 2 touchdowns.
All right. 2 complete opposite sides there. Fair enough. The next game, wow, this is weird to see. The Los Angeles Rams are going to the Dallas Cowboys, and the Cowboys are 6.5-point favorites with the over-under staying at 45.5. I don't think I've ever seen Dallas at 10 a.m. before.
It is weird, huh?
I've never seen him as a 1 o'clock game. It's super weird.
That's weird. Maybe Thanksgiving.
Well, that's Thanksgiving. That's still a primetime game, but they're with everybody else, so it's really interesting. Ray, you want to talk about the Rams side?
Sure. Puka, auto start, 100% smash start, always a smash start, never leaves your lineup. Cooper Kupp, obviously never leaves the lineup. Darrell Henderson, firing him up. Tyler Higbee, no thank you. Find a different option. I hate Tyler Higbee, and I do not want to get burned by him ever again. I refuse. I will not let it happen. You can't hurt me anymore, Tyler Higbee. Matt Stafford. I think this is a week where you could stream Matt Stafford. And I know that he hasn't had the touchdowns, and I know that he hasn't had, this great explosive game. But because of the injuries on Dallas's defense, I'm not necessarily super afraid of starting a quarterback against Dallas. I'm not, as I was at the beginning of the season, I'm not necessarily that afraid. I'm not. And I really think that this could be a game where he's gonna need to throw the ball, and he's gonna get a couple touchdowns out of this game.
All right, fair enough. I think I can see that too. I think also they could be playing from behind to where they have to throw the ball, so that could be the aspect of it. For the Dallas side, it's Tony Pollard, it's CeeDee Lamb. Let me ask you this: are you starting Brandon Cooks this week? He had a pretty good game the last game, so no, he's out. All right, and then I like Ferguson this week as a tight end. I think
you don't say.
Oh, I don't say it all here. And then let me ask you: are you starting Dak this week against the Rams defense?
You don't say. Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I think he's at fringe for me this week, like a QB 10 to 12. So I could see someone pivoting outside of that. But the Rams do have a defense you can throw on. So Ray, who do you have winning this week, Rams or the Cowboys?
I would also like to throw out, if you're in a deeper league and you're concerned about Michael Gallup, or maybe thinking about not starting Michael Gallup, I'm putting Michael Gallup in a deeper league. because he's getting 8 to 10 targets a
He's
week.
getting targets, man. Like it's crazy.
So-
He's just getting the receptions.
Dart throw, right? What is a deep flex if not a dart throw? I think
I agree.
McAlp's fine. I have the Rams winning this game.
Okay, I have the Cowboys winning this game. I think the Cowboys cover the spread too by 6.5. So, on to the next game here. I have the Minnesota Vikings going into Ray's precious Green Bay Packers Stadium. It opened up at 2.5 for the Packers. Now it's at a pick'em, Ray, and the over/under opened at 42.5. Now it's at a 42. Ray, I'll let you talk about your precious Packers here.
You keep saying precious. I don't know. That's not the adjective I'd use. Boy, where do I start? Aaron Jones, cautiously, he has burned you every week that he has been in your lineup except for week 1. But they did say, Matt LaFleur did come out and say, we need to get him rolling more often. He needs to be more involved in the offense. He did say that. Is Matt LaFleur a filthy goddamn liar? Is he? Tune in Sunday. Christian Watson might not play. I guess the knee injury wasn't as severe as they thought it was, but he might not play. I'm not firing up really anybody else right now outside of, in a PPR, Jaden Reed, because I feel like if Christian Watson's going to miss, Jaden Reed's going to be more involved, and that's it. I don't want to start anybody else right now. Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. No. Even with the bad Minnesota defense.
No.
Okay.
No. They haven't done anything. He hasn't done anything recently that he's been fine. Jordan Love has been fine as a quarterback to start in your fantasy football leagues. He's been fine. Do I think that you could do better than that? Yes. Do I think that he's a dart throw? Yes. Would I start him over Zach Wilson, Baker Mayfield?
Okay, let me ask you this. Kyler Murray or Jordan Love this week?
Jordan Love.
Okay.
You want to keep going?
Okay. Let's see here. Tua or Jordan Love?
Is Tyreek playing? Is he playing?
Okay, so if Tyreek plays, okay, I see where you're getting at that, but I see. I'm assuming Tyreek might play. It's a might.
Okay,
you don't know.
Then Tua.
Okay. Who is that for? Geno Smith. There's a good name.
Probably Geno.
Okay. All right, I'll stop there. So I actually don't mind Romeo Doubs though for you guys in PPR formats. I don't mind it. I think he's a good flex play. If you don't have like any options, I think he does throw a lot. Jordan Love does throw a lot to him, so I don't mind it. But I will start with the Packers side. So Jordan Addison is a smash start now, as long as when JJ's out. Even when he comes back, I still think he's a great play. TJ Hawkinson and Kirk Cousins, they're throwing a lot. I think he's a great start. And then KJ Osborne's a good flex play this week. I think he's gonna find the end zone this week.
I could see it. Most likely Jair is back this week. He was pretty close to going last week, so he'll most likely be back this week. But he doesn't travel, so because
he just sticks to one side. Yeah,
he just sticks to one side. So if you don't want Jair's coverage, just go to the other side.
Yeah.
I like Jordan Addison this week, though. I think he's going to be a pretty solid start. I like him.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So Alexander Mattison, Cam Akers, any one of those guys going to go in your lineup this week?
Alexander Mattison, begrudgingly.
The
Packers can't stop the run. They can't. They
okay.
With the 9 or 10 first round picks on their defensive side of the ball, they can't stop the run at all. So
that's crazy. How many first round picks and still can't do it?
Don't worry. I've got a newsflash for you there, Brennan. Guess what?
What?
Next season, we're taking a defensive player. I promise you, it'll be a corner. I promise you.
No, you guys are gonna take an offensive player next year. I think it'll be like a tackle or I think it'll be a tackle next year. Watch. I'll bet you. I'll bet you and Aaron. I know Aaron will get on this bet too, but I'll bet you both. I think it'll be an offensive player this year. Finally, I think it changes the tide here.
I will happily take that bet.
For this game, I think you guys win. I think the Vikings hype's kind of like a little too hot right now. I think this simmer's down. It's a home team. You guys are the underdog in this game. I feel like so. I think you guys win this week.
I think we do win this week, but I think it's going to be an ugly ass game and a really frustrating game.
I kind of like the end of this game. Divisional games always like the under. I feel like it's just not going to be a high scoring game at all.
Probably because the Packers offense sucks. I don't know.
Oh, what a fun fan.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was hyped
It
up
happens.
for a few weeks and then came crashing down to reality.
It's fair.
Hurts.
All right. So next game, the New Orleans Saints go into Indy. The Indy opened up as a -1.5 point favorite. Now the Saints are favored by 1, and the over/under stayed at 43. Ray, you want to talk about the Saints side of the ball?
I sure do. Firing up Chris Olave. If he's getting 15 targets a game, he cannot leave your lineup. I know that last week was a little disappointed with 9 points, but man, that's a lot of targets. Michael Thomas, I will never sign off on Michael Thomas ever again in my life. He burned me in a parlay. It was such a smash start. It's such an easy start.
It's okay. Yeah, I get it.
But man, I hate Michael Thomas so much. Taysom Hill.
Okay, you starting him this week?
Yeah, put him in my lineup. Yeah, why not?
All right. I will
say.
for some whatever reason, Derek Carr always plays well in Indy. Like, I don't get it. He actually does throw the ball very well there. I don't know what it is. Maybe we were supposed to trade for him 3 years ago and never happened. And he hates us for it. But on the Colts side, it's Jonathan Taylor. He has that backfield to himself. Zach Moss did miss practice today. He had a heel and elbow injury, so I think monitor that by all means, because some people do start Zach Moss as their RB2, but JT is a smash start now. Michael Pittman, voiced his frustration last week with very limited targets. He still said that let's just ball go into his way, so feeling that he's a good start this week as well. Josh Downs is leave your lineup now. Him and Minshew are really good with one another. Let me ask you, Ray, are you starting Minshew this week against the Saints?
No.
No,
even though he had a really good week last week, he also has a propensity to just want to throw the ball to the defense.
Fair enough. I agree. There's some throws that make me want to throw my remote at the TV. Fun times as a Colts fan here. All right, Ray, who do you have winning this game?
I have the Saints winning, but I think this is going to be a close-ass game. I think this will be a good game.
Yeah, I actually feel like we are the better team. I don't know why. I love Shane Steichen as a head coach. I think we can win this game, but I won't be surprised if the Saints do beat us. But I think we will win this week. We should have won last week against Cleveland, so I think this is where we set it right.
Yeah, I can see it going either way, but I just like the Saints a little more. I think their team is a little better right now.
Yeah, defensively wise, absolutely. Yeah, I think Derek Carr is the coin flip for me. We have the Patriots going to the Dolphins. The Dolphins open up at 10.5-point favorites. Now it's just at 9, so it went down 1.5. The over under opened at 47. Now it's at 46.5. I will talk about the Patriots side. It's just Ramondre Stevenson and then Kendrick Bourne your flex. I don't mind Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne's had really good weeks. He's their target leader. I think he gets a good amount of receptions for PPR formats. So that's who I have for the Patriots.
You don't say.
I do say.
I like Kendrick Bourne a lot. You'll see him in some DraftKings lineups. Anybody else?
No. It's Mac Jones. No. Zeke. No. I just you're hoping for a goal line touchdown with Zeke, so that's a no for me. And then none of the tight ends. Hunter Henry's not a thing anymore, and Mike Gesicki had that one touchdown, and it's not worth it.
He's got one touchdown a year.
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. What's the over-under on this game? You said it.
It's at 46.5. It opened at 47, but now it's at 46.5, and I think that has to do with the Tyreek news.
Okay, yeah, probably. On Miami side of the ball, I think this is going to be a pretty close game. I really do. They always have close games. They always do. I'm going with Mostert, Jalen Waddle, and if Tyreek misses, if he's out, I would like to put Cedric Wilson in a DraftKings lineup. I was going to say,
please make that end sentence a lot better, because I was like, oh God.
No.
I do like the if Tyreek Hill is out, I do like the Cedric Wilson play in a dynasty lineup, because it's a cheap play. Oh yeah, and you just hoping for the targets to come somewhat his way.
Yeah, so, it'll be like a $3,500 cap hit. Like there's no way you don't at least have one lineup with him in it, because who knows? He was decent when Jalen missed for a little bit of time. He was fine.
Okay. If Tyreek does miss, does Jalen Waddle get over the 10-point threshold?
Has to. But Jalen Waddle got banged up last week too, so
he's fine though. He's perfectly fine. Apparently, he's practiced this week in full, so he's practiced this today, I should say. So it's a good sign.
Okay.
Let me ask you. So if Tyreek misses, You're not starting Tua.
No,
Okay. Geno Smith or Tua.
Gino.
All right. Just want to see where that line was at. Next game, we have the New York Jets going into the New York Giants. Crazy. Giants are +3, and the over-under is at 36.5. It's the second lowest over-under total in this game. So, Ray, I'll let you start with the Jets.
Isn't it weird that like you're at your home stadium, but you're in the away locker room? Isn't that weird? Like,
as a Lakers fan, it's very weird because it's just like the Clippers and Lakers. So it's just like, what are we doing here? It's always Lakers' house. So I think for them too, I want to say I've talked to people from New York. I do say it's pretty split. I want to say it's like 60-40 New York Giants, though. It's not crazy.
yeah, probably because the Jets have sucked for so long, for just
Big facts.
forever. But their jerseys are cooler. I like the Jets jerseys better. Just an aesthetically pleasing look. You know, it'd look a lot better if Aaron Rodgers was still in that jersey. On the Jets side of the ball, Garrett Wilson firing him up. We're going to talk about him a little later. We're gonna mention his name a little later.
Right.
Brees Hall. That's it. End of list.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really think there's anybody worth mentioning, or Zach Wilson's not a thing. It's just not there. For the Giants side, so it's unfortunate for Daniel Jones. He's still not cleared for practice, and he sounded really bummed in his interviews with the media. He sounded like he's still not cleared to even, for contact. So it sounds like, again, that Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback. So it's good news for Darren Waller. I start him absolutely, and then Saquon Barkley, and that's about it. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson in a flex if you have a 3 wide receiver league, I don't mind it, but that's about it.
If you needed a spot fill in a deeper league, or you needed a really cheap addition to your DraftKings lineup, Darius Slayton's got to be free. He's got to be.
Yeah,
and I think
like
he's
almost 4,000.
Yeah, he's just as likely to get the burn than Wan'Dale Robinson, because Ty God doesn't really have like a guy outside of Darren Waller. It seems like that he really wants to go to. So that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hyatt's still fresh, a rookie. He gets like that one big bomb a game. That's about it. So
just to fill.
Yep. All right. Let me see. Who do you have winning this game, Ray?
The Jets.
Okay. And I don't know, man. The Giants have looked good with Tyrod Taylor, dude. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
I don't hate you for it, but I think the Jets.
I don't think it's crazy to think. So, next game we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Pittsburgh. The Steelers are a 2.5-point underdog, and the over/unders at 42.5. Ray, you can talk about the Jags here.
Gross. Well, it's not gross. Every time I think about the Jags, I think about how disappointed I am in what Calvin Ridley's been. But
don't hurt my feelings anymore.
You're gonna have to put him in your lineup. Calvin Ridley starting him this week begrudgingly. Christian Kirk can't leave your lineup. He has been so solid. He has been the receiver 13 right now in the season, 14 on the season. He's been great. Can't take him out of your lineup. Travis Etienne is absolutely nuclear, on fire, just balling out of control. And T-Law, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, let me ask you, since we're talking about Travis Etienne, does he finish as the RB? Does he finish as RB5 or better this year?
This kind of reminds me of what Josh Jacobs was last season, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is going to cool off. This is going to cool." I don't see how it does. That's just what the offense does. Yeah. We have 7 weeks now of proof that this is what they want to do. This is how they're going to run this offense. No, he finishes as a running back 5 or better.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Unless he gets hurt.
Yeah, true. And then your wildest dreams come true with Tank Bigsby.
Oh.
Oh man. On the Steelers side, it's George Pickens, it's Deontay Johnson, and in a flex, I don't mind Najee Harris, but it's still gross. He's still the lead back, and I don't get it because Jalen Warren's better.
And is that it?
That's really it for the Steelers side. I'm not going to start Kenny Pickett. Their backup tight end had 1 reception, so no, I don't really care for this game. I think I'll say my team. I think the Jags beat them pretty easily this week. I hate the Steelers have a winning record because they're just not a good team.
They're not, no. But it's probably going to change here in the next few weeks. I also have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning this game.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So we have the Atlanta Falcons going into Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans have opened as a 2.5 underdog, and the over-under was at 37. Now it's the lowest scoring game of the week at 35.5, Ray. So Ray, I'll give you the honors to talk about the Falcon side.
Oh, I was saying the Titans side's gonna be quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's not much on the Titans side, so
I don't know how much passing is going to be happening in this game. I really don't. But I think that Drake London has earned the right to be said. He should be starting in most situations. Desmond Ridder has looked better and better the last few weeks. I'm not saying
it's a fluke. I don't care what he says.
I'm not saying that he's great. I'm not saying that he's going to be the next thing. Yeah. But he's looked better.
No, yeah, it's like you got to give somebody their flowers when they deserve it. He has looked better. Are you starting Bijan this week?
You know they're getting indicted for that.
Like, I know they are.
They're getting looked into.
Arthur Smith's an idiot. Thinks he's gonna win this battle with the casinos with how much it cost him money. Like, no, dude,
they're gonna lose a draft pick because of that. Watch.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 6th-round pick. But yeah,
I'm not saying it's gonna be like a first, but they're gonna lose a draft pick for sure because that's a big deal. I guarantee that a lot of parlays had to be wiped, or at least one of the legs had to be wiped because of that.
Yeah.
I know mine did. Thanks, Bijan. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm firing up Bijan. Yes, I'm starting Kyle Pitts. He was almost my start of the week.
What?
I'm starting Kyle Pitts this week. I'm doing it. He's done it twice in a row, 3 times in a row. Really, realistically, I have to put him in.
Oh man, you're gonna come back on the Sunday night episode and just be like, I hate Kyle Pitts with every fiber in me.
Oh yeah. But I'm doing it.
Fair enough. All right, I get to talk about the Titans side here. Wow, it's a really long list. It's Derrick Henry.
Even then,
it's Derrick Henry, and I don't mind him as a RB2 or even a flex. They're going to force feed him that ball. I forgot to mention, folks, this is actually a really bad week for games weather-wise. I checked it on the East Coast. They're getting hit with rain really hard. So, and just to let you know, Ray, the Denver game and Kansas City is going to have snow. So, fun stuff.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, really fun. Yeah, but okay, so it's hard to think. Will Levis is a gunslinger, and I actually don't hate the idea of starting DeAndre Hopkins because of the fact they actually might throw the ball a lot more. So I don't hate it as a wide receiver 3 or a flex. I know Ray is like throwing up in his mouth, but I actually don't mind it because Will Levis is going to start, and rookies tend to air the ball. So, he might get close to, 5 catches, 70 yards. I don't know, but he also might throw 4 picks. It's a possibility.
Please, God, just do not start any other offensive pieces. Do not do it. Don't. Find some other way. Just find a way. And I'm also starting the Falcons defense this week in every DraftKings lineup, in every lineup that I can possibly put them out there for. I want the Atlanta Falcons defense on my roster.
All right, Ray. So I'll ask you the question. Who's winning this game?
Atlanta.
All right. I think Atlanta wins this. I'm going to say the Titans, actually.
Stop it.
I'm going to go Titans. I think it's going to be a really bad game, but they're going to win like 10-7. And I know I can already see it in my head.
10-6. What is this? We playing Pee Wee football? No.
Let's watch Pee Wee football with 2 bad quarterbacks playing. So,
you know what's crazy is I was even willing to say before you told me about all the weather, I was like, Desmond Ridder might be a decent stream. He might be a decent stream this week. No, he's not.
No.
But no, Tennessee. No, let's keep going, please. I'm done.
Right.
I'm not talking about Tennessee.
All right, so it's another divisional game here. Philadelphia Eagles go into the Washington Commanders as a 6.5 point. Commanders are a 6.5 point underdog with over under at 43.5. Ray, I will let you talk about the Eagles side here.
On the Eagles side, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You're going to go with A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying a name right now. We're going to talk about that. DeAndre Swift, Devonta Smith. It has to be this week. It has to be.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. And, obviously the whole talk ever since A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts had that fiasco on the sideline, which they swear was nothing about receptions. It was nothing about how, A.J. Brown's not getting the ball. But ever since then, A.J. Brown is at 800 yards already in the season with 5 touchdowns, something crazy like that. I just don't know. I really don't.
Right now, AJ Brown this last week set a historic NFL record for the most games in a row with 150 yards or more, or 125 yards or more
Yeah, 125.
in a game, each game. And you would think that that's been set like a bunch of times, but it really hasn't. Like there hasn't been a lot of guys that have done that before. This pace will not continue. It cannot. There's no way that AJ
He
Brown
might have
finishes.
touched 2,000 yards, dude.
He could, yes, but he's not putting up 125 yards a goddamn game. It's not happening every game. Devonta Smith has to get involved. There's no way that somebody that talented can't get involved.
Yeah,
has
crazy
to be this week.
Heisman winner.
I'm starting Devonta Smith. I'm starting him. Damn it! This is the week. I wish I could put him. I could put him as my start of the week. Fine.
I don't mind it. Commander side, you're going to start Terry McLaurin. That's where the draft capital is. So Sam Howell, there's been obviously controversy of what's going on with the Commanders and how they've been playing. Ron Rivera did come out and say that he is sticking with them no matter what for the rest of the season. So for all those who are hoping for Jacoby Brissett, it's not happening. Sam Howell actually is like top 10 in most like pretty decent category stats. I'm not going to start him this week against the Eagles. I try to pivot elsewhere. Curtis Samuel, I don't mind him and the flex. They do like to work him as a gadget player. That's about, and then I don't know. Logan Thomas has had really back-to-back bad weeks, so I don't know if you can find another option, but I don't hate it. But just know that he has not been involved in the offense like he was weeks before.
What about Brian Robinson?
You kind of have to with what your team's kind of roster constructed wise. I'm sure everyone's done something different, but he's a leading rusher. He's gonna do it, so I don't mind it. But just know the Eagles do have a really good front seven. So
yeah, who do you got winning this game?
I have the Eagles. I think the Eagles start this role of like why they're one of the. I think they're the best team in the NFC. So I think they will start this role again.
I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm gonna have the Eagles winning, not handily, because they almost lost this game against the Commanders last time they played them.
They did, yeah. It's divisional games. I don't hold them against them for like their team rankings. Jahan Dotson, is he a cut candidate?
Very close to.
You still holding on to him?
Probably not, but
okay.
I would only cut him if there was something better on the waiver wire. And let's say if you were tight end needy, Dalton Kincaid would have been a perfect option. If you were running back hungry, I don't know, maybe
Royce Freeman or Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson.
Okay. I just want to see where your head was at here. That is it for the early games. A lot of games. Again, folks, there's no bye this week, so everyone is playing. Ray, are you ready for our starts of the week?
I surely am. And don't call me Shirley. So give me a second. Let me get that loaded up. But while I'm doing this, just remember, we do keep track of these things. We'd like you guys to, drop in the comments. Ask us like what our records are, because I could share that in the comments with you guys postular hastily. All right. So where are we at here? Here we are. Nope. That's 1 week. 1 week off. 1 week off. Yeah, I know. I don't know why we had to do this all in one doc. All right. So, yeah, because Google has problems with space. So, for my quarterback start of the week, I'm going to go with Dak against the Rams.
Okay.
I know that he hasn't looked super solid for fantasy, and he's probably been pretty disappointing for most people. But I think that the Rams have a good enough offense to make Dak have to throw. Who do you got?
So, my quarterback of the week, it's CJ Stroud versus Carolina. Carolina's kind of in the middle of the road for defenses, but I just think CJ Stroud's just on this historic pace as a rookie quarterback with all the yards, still less interceptions, more touchdowns. I think they struggle to run the ball, so it just forces him to throw more. And I'd rather have a quarterback, even though he doesn't scramble, which he's shown he can do that. I just like the fact that he's going to throw for touchdowns. His team will not run for touchdowns. So that's my start of the week. My running back start of the week, it's pretty simple. Anybody who ever plays Denver is always my smash start of the week. It's Isaiah Pacheco this week. Denver is the worst run defense in the league. They are literally 32nd. Isaiah Pacheco will probably average 5 yards a carry against this team.
To be honest, they made A.J. Dillon look good, and A.J. Dillon doesn't make A.J. Dillon look good. Jahmyr Gibbs against the Raiders for me. The Raiders have a piss poor rush defense, and I'm not afraid of Craig Reynolds, and we saw what Jahmyr Gibbs is when he's got the work.
Yeah.
Continue to give
You're
him.
more so afraid of how the Lions use him.
Dan Campbell, give him the work. For my receiver start of the week, I'm going back to Garrett Wilson, baby. It's time. It's time that, Zach Wilson's going to figure it out. He's got to hyper target one guy. Continue to just give chances to Garrett Wilson because you will look better because of it. And you'll get a backup job somewhere else when they go and pick up a quarterback next season. I promise it'll all work out. Just do it for money.
All right. Fair enough. My wide receiver start of the week is actually Christian Kirk versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are the 28th best defense towards wide receivers. So, I pick him. Watch Calvin Ridley. This will be the game he actually goes off. But I think Christian Kirk will expose that defense, and he will get a ton of receptions. So I actually like Christian Kirk this week a lot.
That's why I went to say that you should start Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
that's exactly why.
It's probably going to be that this week, even though Christian Kirk's just been on a pretty good roll. My tight end of the week, I'm going to go with the rookie. I'm going to go with the guy who was the first tight end taken off the board in this year's draft. I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay actually a pretty good defense, but I just feel like with Dawson Knox being injured and him being out, it just makes sure that he's going to be on the field at all times, and they will use him in the ways they actually said they would, in the slot and everything else like that. So I think it opens up his chances to get you good points.
Not great points, but just good points.
Good, healthy points.
Yeah. The real start of the week at tight end is Travis Kelce. It should always be Travis Kelce, but this week specifically, it should be Travis Kelce.
You mean Taylor Swift's boyfriend?
Yeah, Taylor Swift's boyfriend. But since we can't do that because that's not even fruit on the ground. That's already chopped up into somebody's bowl.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one that I think is going to be just fine. Jake the Snake Ferguson versus the Rams. I'm going to stack him with Dak. The stack with Dak. This is the week. This is the week that Jake Ferguson blows up, goes nuclear.
Okay.
For my defensive start of the week, and I think that we already talked about this. You kind of already knew where I was going. Hot Atlanta against Tennessee. I don't give a shit which one of these doofuses is throwing the ball. They are going to turn that ball over 4 to 5 times this game, especially in the rain. I'm all about it. I would love Atlanta on every team that I could get that has a defensive role. Put them in your lineups. It's a smash start, guarantee. I'm telling you right now.
Fair enough. My defensive start of the week is the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders. Even if Jimmy G does play, the Lions just got smacked in the mouth by the Ravens, so I expect them to bounce back and actually have a great game. I think they will limit them. It'll be basically what we saw for the Ravens Lions, but it'll be the Lions Raiders. I think the Lions just storm in and beat the crap out of them, and I think their defense stops Josh Jacobs, and it makes this game very frustrating for them.
That was such a disappointing game.
That really was.
Yeah,
except for Ravens fans, because I have Lamar Jackson in quite a few leagues, so I was super happy.
The Lions really shit the bed. It's gross.
Anything
else, Brennan?
I have nothing else.
I don't either. Well, guys, if you've been here this long, you've stuck around for almost 45 minutes, we appreciate the hell out of you. If you could, please hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, all of those things. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell the people that you hate. If you want them to lose their leagues, put them in this channel. I don't care what you do. As long as you're listening for 45 plus minutes, that's gold to me, baby. But until next time, guys, we will see you later.